Today is supposed to be my grandson's 7th birthday, so why? I couldn't believe my eyes. My grandson, Tommy, was sitting all alone on the garden's paving stones, his eyes red as if he'd been crying. What happened? Where are your mom and dad?
They went on a trip overseas.
You're staying home alone, in the yard, by yourself, what? My mind was racing, trying to make sense of it all when Tommy, with a smile on his face, said,
Grandma, thanks. You came because it's my birthday, right? I'm so happy.
That's when I realized it. Oh, how foolish I'd been. What was I hesitating for? It's my duty to protect this child. I will never forgive my son and his wife. My name is Yvonne. It's been 10 years since all my children got married and moved out, leaving me living alone with my husband, Kevin. I'm 62 years old, and there's nothing more important than staying healthy. This morning, like every other, I woke up early and took a walk around the neighborhood. And after that, I make just one lunchbox. It's for Kevin, who retired last year but is now working again under a rehire contract. I miss the days when I used to prepare lunch boxes for the whole family. Oh dear, just from hearing this, do I sound like someone with too much time on their hands or a bit lonely? That's not the case at all. My son Sean and his wife, Claire, come over with Tommy often, and I also work part-time at a supermarket 4 days a week. It's a lively place, with high school kids and moms working while raising their kids. We all get along well, and everyone supports each other without complaint, even when someone takes an unexpected day off. It's a really comfortable place to work. I still want to keep working energetically. I enjoy interacting with people, and I want to be able to give Tommy pocket money from what I earn myself. Sean and Claire's house, where they live with their almost 7-year-old son and 1-year-old daughter, is just a 10-minute walk away. My grandson Tommy is the child of Sean and his late ex-wife. Until Sean remarried Claire and their younger child was born, I took care of Tommy almost every day, so I feel like he's my own child. He's so attached to me, and I love him so much. He's the kind of grandchild I would never get tired of seeing. However, since he started elementary school, he's been so busy with activities that we hardly see each other. He has swimming on Mondays, art classes on Tuesdays, tutoring on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and piano on Fridays. It's sad he doesn't get any time to relax. When I heard about this schedule after his first day of the elementary school, I was shocked and asked Sean about it. Even though he's in elementary school now, he's only 7. Isn't this too much for him?
Is it? I think he'll be fine.
Hearing Sean's unconvincing response, I felt uneasy. Claire then said to me,
Yvonne, what are you talking about? It's important for kids to try different things from an early age. I'm the one managing his schedule, so you don't need to interfere.
It seems Tommy didn't ask for all these activities, but it's Claire's decision to keep him busy. If he's enjoying them, then there's no issue, but I wonder if he has any free time at all. Is this really love? I know it's not my place to interfere, but I can't help worrying about Tommy. He was never a loud child, but after losing his beloved mom, he's become even quieter. Take a break sometimes and come visit Grandma's house again, okay? I said this to Tommy, hoping to be of some support, but keeping it lighthearted.
Yvonne, he's working so hard. Don't say unnecessary things.
Okay. I felt bad after being scolded by Claire. Was it my loneliness from not seeing Tommy that made me say something unnecessary? But still, I can't help but worry. He's too kind, so he has a hard time expressing his opinions clearly. After some time passed, I suggested, come stay with us for the summer break. Or let's do fireworks together with Grandma. I invited him several times through Sean, but he kept turning me down. It made me feel lonely. Even when I talked to Kevin about it, he didn't really understand.
They have their own pace. You know, if you keep meddling, they'll end up resenting you.
I know that. Every time I open the fridge, I see the fruits and ice cream I bought just in case he'd come, and I can't help but sigh. Summer break has finally come to an end. I can't hold it in anymore. There are things I need to talk about, so I'll call Claire. Up until now, I've only contacted Sean, trying not to intrude, but if I keep waiting, the fruits will get spoiled. Hello.
Yvonne, it's rare for you to call. What's going on?
Summer break's over, but is everything all right with you all? Is Tommy going to school okay? Claire's tone on the other end of the line noticeably drops. Did I come off a little passive-aggressive? As expected, Claire seemed upset.
What is it? What are you trying to say? Summer's over, and the whole family's exhausted. We're not as free as you, Yvonne. Don't tell me you're planning to ask us to visit.
No, I was just thinking, since I have some fruit, maybe you'd like some.
What's different about that? Are you trying to lure us with fruit?
Claire is usually strong-willed, but today she sounds especially irritated, almost combative. I wasn't sure what to say, and then she muttered to herself.
Seriously, it's so persistent. Just give it a rest already. I've said no.
What? I don't understand. She told me to back off because I'm being persistent. But this is the first time I've ever called Claire. I have no idea why she'd say that. Did Kevin reach out to her? No, Kevin doesn't even have Claire's contact info.
Anyway, we're too busy, so it's not possible. And we have the baby's vaccination today.
If that's the case, how about I watch Tommy for you?
No, thank you.
Before I could finish, Claire rejected me. And then she hung up the phone. I still had things I wanted to talk about. I guess Kevin and I will have to eat the fruit ourselves. But something's off about Claire's attitude. Is she overwhelmed and frustrated because she's busy with the baby? I wish she'd just let Tommy stay with us instead of overdoing it, but no. I shouldn't interfere. I don't have the courage to call Claire again, so I decide to call Sean instead.
Hey, Mom, what's up?
I just wanted to talk. I called Claire earlier, but she seemed busy. You know, Tommy's birthday is coming up, right? I wanted to get him a present, but I thought I'd check first to make sure I don't get the same thing.
His birthday. Oh, right. I forgot.
What? You forgot, and you call yourself his father?
With the baby being so small and needing so much attention, it's hard not to put Tommy second.
Sean said it so casually. Do you even realize what you're saying? If you and Claire keep focusing only on the younger grandchild, Tommy might end up feeling isolated within the family. I'm getting frustrated, but I take a deep breath to calm down. Claire must have committed to being a mother when she remarried, and I'm sure she's making efforts in her own way. Only they can understand the balance within their family. It would be terrible if I interfered and upset that balance. I try to calm myself, choosing my words carefully. Tommy's doing his best too, so make sure to be there for him. I'll help whatever I can. I wouldn't mind watching him again if needed.
Yeah, okay.
Sean's casual response annoys me. He probably hasn't thought about it seriously and isn't taking it to heart. Thinking back, he's always been someone who doesn't think deeply about things. It's disappointing that even as an adult, he hasn't changed. It's not just okay. You need to really think about how Tommy feels.
Who do you think you are?
The moment I heard Claire's voice, I realized my mistake. She must have taken over the phone without me noticing.
I can't believe you called Sean back. If you had something to say, you should have told me earlier.
Claire's tone is irritated. I stumble over my words. No, it's not that. I just wanted to check about the birthday present.
Birthday?
Yes, what does Tommy want? Are you celebrating the day? Claire sighs loudly in response to my question.
Are you hoping I'll say, "Why don't you join us, Yvonne?"
Her words leave me speechless. That's not what I meant. I try to deny it quickly, but it's clear she doesn't believe me.
Sorry, but we're going out as a family.
I see.
With the school's anniversary and a holiday, we have a week off, so we're planning to go on a trip. We won't be available to entertain you, Yvonne.
Please, don't misunderstand. I just want to.
We'll accept the present in cash later. Big toys just become clutter.
And once again, she hung up on me. I was left stunned by Claire's attitude, but then anger welled up. I only wanted to celebrate Tommy's birthday, but why am I being treated like this? And what's this about? Give cash. Sure, I might not know much about the latest toys or games, but there's a way to say things. My anger lasted only a moment, and then sadness washed over me. I won't get to see Tommy's happy face on his birthday. Ever since Claire came into our lives, I felt like this over and over again. I just want to get along, but it feels like I'm always failing. What should I do? With these troubled feelings lingering, today is Tommy's birthday. I'm disappointed I can't do anything for him, but if they're going out as a family, there's nothing I can do. I had rearranged my work shift to have the day off, but it's no longer needed. To lift my spirits, I decided to go for a walk, and on the way back, I bought 2 small shortcakes. I'll go home and share them with Kevin. At least in spirit, we'll celebrate Tommy's birthday. I wonder if he's eating something delicious right now. As I was thinking that, and passing by Sean and Claire's house, what I saw was Tommy sitting all alone on the garden's paving stones. Hop. The sight of Tommy, who shouldn't have been there, surprised me, and I let out a weird sound. When Tommy, who had been looking down, lifted his head, his eyes were red as if he'd been crying. What happened? Why are you here? Weren't you supposed to be out? Even though the sun had set, and it was getting chilly, Tommy was in nothing but a short-sleeved t-shirt. For now, let's go inside.
I can't. The door's locked, so I can't get in.
What? Where are your mom and dad, and your little sister?
They went on a trip overseas.
I was shocked, my eyes wide open at the unbelievable words. I knew they were going on a trip, but wasn't it supposed to be for Tommy's celebration? Leaving the birthday boy behind, what does that even mean? So, they left you alone, locked outside in the yard, by yourself. What on earth? I couldn't process it. My mind was a mess.
Mom said, since I'm 7, I'd be fine.
What? What part of this is fine? I don't know how long they're gone for, but leaving your own child outside in the yard, this is madness. Just as I felt dizzy at that moment.
Grandma, thank you. You came because it's my birthday, right? I'm so happy.
Tommy said with a smile. At that moment, I realized it. Oh, how foolish I'd been. Why was I hesitating? It's my duty to protect this child. I will never forgive Sean and Claire. Tommy, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Let's go to Grandma's house and have dinner together.
But if I leave the yard, Mom and Dad will be mad.
Even in this situation, he's trying so hard to obey his parents. Grandma will talk to them. You won't get in trouble, I promise.
Really?
Really? Do you trust me?
Yeah, I trust you.
I took Tommy's small hand and started walking. Well, what to do next? For now, since I'm short one cake, Kevin and I will have to share one, I guess. A week later, the phone rang nonstop, so much so that it felt like one of those persistent calls you hear about. Of course, it was Claire. When I finally had a moment to pick up, she was shouting so loudly I had to hold the phone away from my ear.
Yvonne, are you even listening?
You don't have to yell. I can hear you just fine.
You're the culprit, aren't you?
Culprit? What are you talking about? Don't make it sound so bad. I don't need that kind of treatment from parents who abandon their child for a whole week. Claire hesitated for a moment at my reasonable response, but she quickly started shouting again.
Where are you right now?
Where, you ask? Well, the view from the large windows fills the room with a sight of the Pacific Ocean. The blue sea, with white waves sparkling under the sun's reflection. It's the perfect season to feel the refreshing sea breeze. I've always wanted to visit a spa resort with an ocean view.
What?
The food was amazing too, an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet.
What on earth are you talking about?
Ignoring Claire's confusion, I continued talking. Yesterday, we were surrounded by nature. The views were beautiful. I wanted to visit the East Coast too, but it's too far, don't you think? I'll save that for when Tommy is a bit older. We'll enjoy sightseeing, shopping, and all the delicious food.
Yvonne,
What is it? If you have something to say, go ahead.
do you think it's okay to just take a child around like that?
I took a deep breath before responding. I don't want to hear that from someone who left their child behind to go on an overseas trip. Does she not realize how Tommy must have felt being left alone? I suggested a domestic trip to replace that feeling with happier memories. When Tommy heard the idea while eating cake, he nodded enthusiastically, looking so happy. Surprisingly, it was Kevin who was also excited. Despite being a workaholic, he took a week off for Tommy's sake. When I consulted with my manager at the part-time job, they told me I could take time off without worrying about it. They said it's because I'm always working hard, and it made me a little happy. Since we didn't have passports, an overseas trip was out, but I thought it would be fun to take Tommy on trains and planes, since he loves them. We'd go to amusement parks and theme parks and enjoy some good food. Since it was a special occasion, we decided to indulge ourselves completely. So, the three of us set off on our trip. Thanks to my regular walks, I was able to enjoy sightseeing and exploring different places. This is our birthday gift for Tommy. This way, it won't turn into clutter, and there shouldn't be any complaints, right?
Don't mess around.
I'd love to see the expression on Claire's face, but right now, I'm more focused on enjoying our stay at this luxury hotel. Tonight, we're staying at a hotel with a view of a beautiful river. After that, I think we'll stop by the zoo before heading back.
What? Get back right now. I'll call the police.
Call the police, you mean? I left my child in the yard while I went on vacation, and when I got back, he was gone. My in-laws took him. Is that it?
I can do that. I'm his mother.
Claire's voice was rising in anger. I kept my tone calm as I continued. Oh, by the way, the neighbors were concerned too. They always hear your shouting and wonder if you were being too strict with discipline.
What? You talk to the neighbors.
Yes, when I took Tommy, I let them know we'd be away for a while.
Don't do that. Seriously, you elderly folks are unbelievable.
If you report us, they'll probably reach out to the neighbors too.
Why would you?
All right, talk to you tomorrow. Claire's anger was escalating, so I quickly ended the call. I didn't have time for this nonsense.
Grandma, what's wrong? Let's go.
All right. Tommy called for me, so I had to go. And after that, we continued to have the time of our lives. Tommy was holding a large stuffed hippo he got at the zoo, looking very satisfied.
Tomorrow, I'm going to tell my friends at school all about the trip.
Tommy said that with a smile, but as we got closer to his house, his expression suddenly became anxious. He was scared to face his mom and dad.
I want to go back to Grandma's house. Mom and Dad only care about my sister. They don't want me.
My heart ached. What kind of parents make a child feel this way? It's okay. Grandma will protect you, no matter what. All right, it's time for a confrontation. When Kevin, Tommy, and I arrived at the house, it was Sean who greeted us. I had prepared myself to face Claire's furious expression, but it wasn't her at the door. As soon as we handed Tommy over, Sean put his hand on the door, signaling for us to leave immediately. Before I could say anything, Kevin spoke up.
We need to talk.
Kevin, who's usually so quiet, spoke with a firm, no-nonsense attitude. Sean looked uncomfortable.
Dad, Mom, I'm sorry, but Claire's really upset. Can you please leave?
Seeing Sean act so casually in this situation made me furious. Do you even know what you've done? This isn't about Claire. How could you let me down like this?
Why are you so angry?
What do you mean why? Are you serious? You left Tommy all alone on his birthday, locked out of the house. What would you have done if something had happened in that entire week you were gone?
Mom, what's going on? Tommy's 7 now. He can handle things on his own.
Was my son always this clueless? My anger was reaching its peak. He's already 7. He's only 7. When you were 7, you still wet the bed.
What? Mom, stop.
At that moment, from inside the house appeared someone with a face like a demon. No, more like the gatekeeper of hell, Claire.
Please stop shouting at the front door.
She glared at Sean after speaking to me.
I told you to make them leave, didn't I?
Sorry.
How pathetic, Sean. Claire didn't like the fact that Tommy was hiding behind me.
Yvonne, I won't blame you for taking him out, but please leave Tommy here and go home.
Why are you making me the villain? You're the ones who should be blamed.
You seem to be misunderstanding.
Claire smirked.
Leaving Tommy behind was his own choice. He said he didn't want to go on an overseas trip, so he stayed behind. And we didn't lock him out. The house wasn't locked, but the back door was left open so he could come and go as he pleased.
I was speechless. I checked the front door, but I didn't know about another entrance. Claire wore a triumphant expression. Even so, leaving a 7-year-old alone is irresponsible. And didn't you tell him not to leave the yard?
No.
What?
I would never say such a thing. Do you have any proof?
I was stunned. Proof? I had none. I had no way to check if the back door was really open.
Do you understand who's really at fault? I spend time and money enrolling Tommy in activities, while you, Yvonne, act impulsively. Which of us is being unreasonable? Even if he's your grandchild, taking him without permission could be a crime.
Claire looked at me with a smug, dirty grin. And Sean, utterly useless. Just as I clenched my teeth in frustration.
It's a lie.
Tommy's small voice broke the silence.
It's a lie. All of it. I never said I wanted to stay home.
Be quiet.
Claire's face turned bright red as she panicked. But Tommy continued speaking.
I don't want to do those activities. I've told you so many times I want to quit. You won't let me because it's easier when I'm not around, right? You just want to show off to your friends, don't you?
Hearing Tommy's words made my chest ache. How sad to have endured activities he didn't want to do every day. Claire was wasting both Tommy's time and the money spent on these classes, all for her own sake.
What's your problem? You're usually so quiet it's creepy. So what's with the attitude now? What's wrong with signing you up for classes to connect with my friends? You'll thank me for this in the future.
There's no way a child forced into doing things he doesn't like would ever be grateful. Claire's selfishness infuriated me.
I didn't give birth to you, but I'm still looking after you. Be grateful for that.
But I'm not lying.
Tommy bit his lip, trying hard not to cry. Claire seemed irritated.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you're such a handful. Stop talking back and be quiet. Just the other day, you kept insisting on seeing Grandma even though you had a class, so I scolded you, didn't I? You need to stop. It's annoying.
Now I understood why Claire had said Tommy was persistent when I invited him over with the promise of fruit. Tommy had been asking to see me. Even though he got scolded, he must have gathered the courage to ask again and again. Thinking about Tommy's feelings almost made me cry. Seeing this, Kevin spoke up.
Can I say something? There's something I've been meaning to discuss seriously.
What is it?
Claire looked at Kevin with a suspicious gaze.
I mentioned it to Sean a while back, but we're thinking of adopting Tommy.
What?
There shouldn't be any problem with that, right?
What? What do you mean? Sean, did you agree to this?
Claire, wide-eyed, confronted Sean. Sean nodded calmly.
Well, you said you'd never formally adopt Tommy, so.
I did, but
So there's no issue if Tommy becomes dad and mom's child instead, right?
Sean said it so casually, causing Claire to tremble with rage.
are you kidding me? You didn't even consult me first.
You said you didn't want to adopt a child you didn't give birth to. So what's wrong with letting mom and dad take responsibility in case something happens?
It seemed she didn't want to adopt Tommy herself, but she also didn't want him taken away by us. A child isn't a possession. Even if he's a stepchild, leaving him alone, making him endure so much, her treatment was unacceptable. Before seeing him as her own, she should see him as an individual human being. And once again, I thought about Sean. I always knew he was laid back, but was he really this clueless?
Why did you agree without asking me?
Claire was furious, while Sean remained confused.
Sorry, I didn't know you changed your mind. I didn't realize you suddenly wanted to adopt Tommy so badly.
I am not Tommy's mother. If something happened to Sean, I'd have to take him in if we were legally tied, right? I can't take responsibility for a child I didn't give birth to.
Kevin covered Tommy's ears midway through the conversation. Then, he gently led him outside. I turned to Claire and said, "You're despicable."
What?
Next, I addressed Sean. You really picked the worst possible wife.
What?
It's clear you don't care about your child at all.
That's not true.
Claire shoved Sean aside and stepped in.
How dare you call me despicable? Whether or not we're legally tied, Tommy is still my child.
And how can you say that? You just said you're not his mother because you didn't give birth to him, that you don't want the responsibility, and you left him locked outside. If that's not despicable, then what is? And just look at Tommy. You can tell how uncomfortable he feels here and how much it's affecting him. Just because you have a baby doesn't mean you neglect the older child.
You don't know what you're talking about. I do everything I'm supposed to do. I feed him, I make sure he take a shower, and he has a bed.
I took a deep breath and looked Claire straight in the eye. That's no different from taking care of a pet. No, actually, it's worse.
What? Don't be so rude. I even pay for his activities.
You mean the activities you force him into for your convenience? You pay for classes just to keep him out of the house.
What?
Even when his classes are in the next town or late at night, you make him walk, don't you? Don't you think that's dangerous? Although, I guess someone who leaves a child behind for an overseas trip wouldn't get it. And you didn't show up for his parents' day or his sports day, did you? Tommy said he was all alone. Sean looked surprised.
What? There was a parents' day and a sports day. I didn't know about that.
Maybe I accidentally threw out the notice?
Claire tried to excuse herself, but Sean stared at her coldly. I sighed. It's not about whether you knew or not. The fact that you weren't interested in your own child is a huge problem. Sean, stunned by my scolding after so long, couldn't say anything. And he shouldn't be able to argue. I wonder if they finally understood what they had done. But it's too late. The time I'm spending lecturing you is a waste. What I need to do now is help Tommy forget his painful memories as soon as possible. That's what I told them. It was Sean who stopped Claire from protesting further.
Enough. We were both wrong. Let's talk about what we do from here.
Don't act tall, high, and mighty. You should just listen to what I say.
No.
What?
I regret it. I should have faced things properly with Tommy, with you, and with Mom and Dad.
Sean seemed remorseful. But I had no intention of offering kind words. It's too late to realize this now. The wounds they inflicted on a child as young as 7 are deeper than they can imagine. Tommy, let's go back to Grandma's house. Tommy's face lit up with happiness.
Really? I'm so happy. Yay!
Seeing Tommy's genuine joy, I wonder what Claire and Sean thought. To be honest, they got what they deserved. I'm truly glad I was able to protect Tommy's smile. You don't have to worry anymore. I'll never leave you alone again. After that, Sean and Claire had multiple discussions over the course of 6 months, but they eventually decided to get a divorce. Claire, who refused to change her attitude, and Sean, who was foolish enough to choose her. It might be the natural outcome. Claire remained selfish until the end. She refused to accept Tommy as her own, said she couldn't feel love for him, and claimed that since he wouldn't be attached to her anyway, it would be better for us to raise him. She completely rejected the idea of accepting Tommy as her stepchild. It makes me want to ask why she even remarried in the first place. She probably never gave much thought to having a stepchild. Claire decided to take custody of their younger child. June sold their house and paid the proceeds as a lump sum for child support for the younger one. Then he came back to us, asking sincerely for another chance as a father. Sean regretted his choices and complained.
After the divorce was finalized, I finally realized it. She only remarried me because she wanted a stable life. I'm a public sector worker, and I own a house. I guess, having just lost my first wife, I was the perfect target.
I looked at Sean with a pitiful expression. I wasn't going to let him use that as an excuse for getting involved with a woman like that. Sean now has to work hard and take his time to regain his child's trust. This won't be easy. Of course, Kevin and I will keep a close watch. Given the outcome, we didn't proceed with formally adopting Tommy. It was for Tommy's and Sean's sake, considering the possibility that Sean might remarry someday. We'll offer our support, but we'll also have our say. As long as I can see, I will never let Tommy cry alone in sadness again. And I plan to make sure Sean is properly retrained as a father.
Grandma, have a good day.
Every morning, I see Tommy off as he heads to elementary school. Then Sean leaves for work.
Thanks for the lunch again. Have a good one.
Yes, with Sean back, I'm back to making 2 boxes of lunch. I wonder if I'll be making one for Tommy when he's in high school. If that happens, it'll be 3 lunch boxes. And if I'm working that day, it'll be 4. I'll need to wake up early to get everything done. After Kevin leaves for work, I get ready and head to my part-time job. It's a lot of work, and I wonder how long my stamina will last. And 3 years later, as I had worried, Sean remarried to a coworker, a younger colleague of his. She had visited our home often, so Tommy had already grown attached to her, and naturally, she moved in with us. She's cheerful, straightforward, and a great cook, the ideal daughter-in-law. We currently take turns making lunch for family to take with them every other day. It's a relief to have the workload cut in half. Tommy is almost 10 years old. He's at that age where things can get a bit complicated, but it didn't take long for him to start calling her mom because she's so genuine. I didn't dislike the quieter life with just Kevin and me, but having a lively home is definitely more fun.
Hey, Grandma, about my next birthday.
What is it, Tommy?
I want to go on a trip again, this time with everyone.
Tommy said, hesitating a little. I couldn't be happier. Of course, let's do that. Maybe this time, we'll visit a big city I've always dreamed of. I'm really looking forward to it.